The celebration and the rejoicing is coming. This book is almost done. Okay, you guys, this is it. I know so many of you were really invested in my NaNoWriMo journey with Fate Surrender. So I just want to say thank you so much again for all that support that you have given me. It is now early January, and I have been throughout the last month working on the book in fits and spurts. So I took a little bit of vacation, obviously spent a lot of time with my family, and here and there for a few hours a day, or not every single day, I would work on the book and trying to figure out what was really holding me back in terms of finishing it before. And like I mentioned towards the end of the NaNoWriMo Diaries, it really was just that I was trying to sort of cram 2 books worth of content into a final book. And that was why it felt like there were kind of 2 climaxes and I couldn't quite get through as much of the story as I had wanted, and it wasn't coming together. So now I am, instead of writing a trilogy, I am writing book 3 of at least 4. So that has happened, and now I am basically finishing up the cliffhanger ending of this book. And where I am so far in the process right now is I have printed out the entire book and been going through it to make notes about anything that I want to clean up. And this is kind of, it's not exactly a final read through, but it's sort of a pre-final read through where I'm reading through, and at this stage of the process what I like to do is go through and find any sentences that take me out of the story, any little moments where I could really solidify or strengthen the character's motivation or their internal thoughts, anywhere I can fix the dialogue and make it even better than it was originally. Add breadcrumbs throughout the story. So now that I know where it ends and what all needs to be like brought out as the magic and the character arc, there are more breadcrumbs, like little clues that I can leave earlier on in the dialogue. And this is really one of my favorite parts of the process, is leaving the little breadcrumbs and strengthening the character arc and the plot as I go, and fixing the sentences so that everything really flows. And so during this stage of the process, I like to immerse myself as much as possible. So I did have it printed out, like I said, and so this is the full novel, double-sided on my less fancy paper. My husband always makes fun of me because I have really thick, fancy paper for my planner. So this is my cheap Amazon Basics paper, and I have printed it out and been making notes on this. But now what I'm going to do is actually open the document on my computer, put on my favorite Razer Kitty Kraken headphones that I love, and sort of blot out the rest of the world and the sound of the kids downstairs, and I'm going to commence the final read through or pre-final read through and fix up of this book. Now, my husband, my beta readers, and my editor have all read the book so far. The only thing they haven't read is the fixes of a training sequence that I've got to fix, and then the final scene. So what I'm going to do today is get this back to them, as well as start the process of getting this through a proofreader. So it's going to be multiple stages happening all at once. So now what I will start to do is I will copy 1 chapter at a time from the beta document over to the new document. So let me show you what that looks like. Okay, so just to show you guys a quick look at what I'm going to be doing over the next couple days and how I manage my edits inside Google Docs. So I have my cleanest version. So I might have 8 or 9 previous versions of this book, and each one is labeled clearly with whether it's my first rough draft, my second draft, and so on. So this is my beta version, which has been thoroughly edited not only by a copy editor, but also by my beta readers and my husband. So this is my cleanest, most edited version, and I'll be working with this version. But instead of just making the changes here in this document and losing my previous work, or really just looking at all of this outline and feeling very overwhelmed by how much there is to do, I like to go to File and New and start a new document. So here I've created a new document and I've called it Final Beta. So I know that this is the next version of my beta. I could have called it Beta 2 as well. And what I do is I pull one chapter over at a time and I edit it as thoroughly as I can, finish it, get it exactly the way I want it to be, where there's not going to be any more changes. And then I go over to the original document and I copy the second chapter. I move it over and I work on that chapter. When I'm finished with that chapter, I'll go to the third chapter. And what this does is it creates an outline over here on the side. The way that I create the outline is I just highlight the chapter title, or in this case, the POV name, and I call it heading 1. And that automatically creates this outline over here in Google Docs. So I can clearly see how much of this have I actually gotten through. And the other really cool thing about it is not only do I know which version this is, because I'm not trying to write on top of my old edits, but I can know what's done, what still needs to get done, and I can make it very collaborative and go ahead and hit the share button and let my beta readers and my proofreader know that everything that's over here in this document is ready for them to look at. And that way I don't have to be telling them, okay, you can go through part 1. And I also don't have to wait to be completely done with the book and the edits before they can go ahead and get started. So I can be, working on the next chapter while they're reading these first 2. Okay, so that is what I'm going to be doing today. Literally, it is 11:37 in the morning on Saturday, and I want to finish this by Sunday night so that I can have it in the hands of my proofreader and then out to my ARC readers on Monday or Tuesday. The book comes out on Friday. So this has been a long process, but it is almost over. And I'm so excited for how this book has turned out. I'm hoping that as I do this next read through, I'm just going to really feel like the book really gelled and came together in such a great way. So I'm anxious to get started getting this final parts of the process done. Let's go. Okay, so I came downstairs to do a quick update. Ignore the fact that our tree is still up and there's a bit of a mess of toys behind me, but I wanted to give a quick update. It is 2:30 and I just hit 24,569 words. So I made it through Act 1 reread, and it only took me about 3 hours, so not as long as I thought it would to get to 5,000 words each time. And I did take a small break in between. I also find myself getting really tired just kind of sitting there, so I need a little bit of a break. I may go outside and walk around the block for a little bit, but it's tedious work, fixing little sentences, making sure things are flowing, but there hasn't been, as expected, nothing right now that needs a major rework. There was a scene with the witch that I had to change, maybe a couple paragraphs, totally rewrote that, maybe about 400 extra words added, but for the most part, it's just been little tweaks here and there, and it's going really well. I think the first act is really solid, and I'm excited for it. So now on to a little bit of a break, and then on to the next act. There's a battle scene coming up here, so I'm pretty excited to get to the magic system stuff and kind of work through the details of making this as exciting as possible, but I'm just finding it hard to sit and keep working. So I'm gonna take a break and I'll be back in a little bit with a new update. Hey guys, so it is Sunday. I did not get a chance to really end or record more of the vlog yesterday because things got a little bit whirlwindy over here. We were doing so many different things at once, trying to start putting away the Christmas decorations, kids going crazy, cooking dinner, all the things. And then somewhere around the evening, I ended up getting a terrible, terrible headache. And I knew that if I kept pushing myself at that point, that I was going to have a bad day today. So what I decided to do was finish up the first part. So it's about a third of the way through the book. And so I finished that out. It's just shy of 35,000 words, and it's so good. I'm so proud of how it has turned out. So today is all about part 2. And then if I have time to get to part 3, that would be great. What I've done at this point is sent notice to my beta readers of the chapters that changed so that they don't have to read back through the entire thing of the beginning, because there's so much that stayed the same other than some little sentence tweaks. So I let them know what has changed. And then I also went ahead and sent the link for part 1 in my Google Drive to my proofreader. So she'll be working on the first third of the book while I'm working on the second third. And hopefully by the time I get done with the second third, she'll be ready for that part. So that speeds up the process considerably for me. And I really love it. It's just part of what I have learned to do, being somebody who sort of pushes my deadlines to the last minute. Maybe someday I'll recover from that and no longer do it. But for now, it's nice to have people that are standing by and ready to help out. I have spent some good time with the kids already, and I actually have them sitting out watching a little bit of Netflix, which is not ideal for a Sunday, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do as a writer mom. So I am going to set myself up on the kitchen table and keep working on edits while they're watching some Netflix. I also have Starbucks being delivered through Uber Eats, so that should be here soon and hopefully will give me a little bit of a pep now that I am no longer eating sugar again. I order just a flat white, which is my favorite thing from Starbucks, that is no sugar. It does have milk in it though, so it does have calories. It just doesn't have any added sugar. So not technically a bright line thing because you should not be snacking and that is considered a snack. But today we're just going to get through, and it'll kind of be part of my lunch. I'll take the protein out of my lunch. Okay, guys, I am ready to get started. I'm excited for the day. I think it's going to be a good day. And yeah, so I'm starting at just about 35,000 words. I'll keep you guys updated. Here we go. Quick update. It has been about an hour and I'm up at 40,000 words. So about 5,000 words per hour, which is what I had estimated yesterday once I got into this kind of tougher part of it. So I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's going to be a really long day, but we are starting to get hungry here. So we're going to make some lunch and then get back to work after. Guys, so where do I have my thing? Okay. I've been just kind of keeping track of my progress on this just plain sheet of when I hit 10,000, how long it's taking me to get to 20,000, 30,000, and so on. So I hit 45,000 at 2:04 p.m. and then just got struck with such a bad headache, and my laptop was running out of juice anyway. So I took a break. It is now 4:13. I took a walk. I did neti pot again, trying to help with the sinus issues and the headache, and I took some time out to plan my week coming up. So that's basically what I did for the last couple hours. I still have a mild headache and nothing is really helping, so I'm just gonna keep powering through and hope that it goes away at some point, maybe after dinner. So I'm gonna get back to work. I am now working upstairs on my gaming computer, if you can see it here, kind of, because the kids and George are downstairs watching some TV. So I wanted to be a little bit more quiet. I'm going to try to get to, like, I've hit the point in the story where there's going to be a lot of changes to some of these chapters. So this is kind of the more tedious part, and then I'll hit another stretch where things are going to go really fast. So I'm hoping that before dinner in about an hour to an hour and a half, I'm gonna hopefully be at 55 to 60,000 words. So fingers crossed. Feeling so excited that I'm getting so close to the end, but also like the book comes out in like 6 days. So, you know, the time is now. Got a book that is on pre-order for May 11th, and that's not even the next book I'm working on, but I'm going to go ahead and be making a plan so that I can be finished with that book in April instead of May and actually start getting ahead, because coming down to the wire is more stressful than it needs to be. So yeah, let's get back to work.
Hey, darling, can I tell you what's been on my mind? Sick and tired of the 9 to 5.
Okay, so it is 5:31. Our food, we ended up ordering some more food from Uber Eats, and it will be here in less than 5 minutes. So I'm going to call it right here for the day. Well, for this part of the day. I'm at 55,880 words. So I have added maybe 1,000 words or so, but I still have some more addition stuff to go. But for now, I'm kind of skipping over that just a little bit because I'm going to talk through making sure I've got all the little things that are getting set up for the ending here. Now I'll be taking a break through the rest of the afternoon, evening time to eat dinner, maybe go for a walk, although it's maybe a little too cold for the kids to be out, and then get baths for the kids, do my nighttime tarot ritual, and then get back to work. So I'll just get as far as I can today, send everything that I can off to my proofreader, and just kind of keep working through it. I had really wanted to get the book formatted tomorrow and over to my ARC team in the morning, but it looks like it'll probably be Tuesday before I get it to my ARC team, which is totally fine. I'm feeling really good about the work I've done today. It's really unfortunate that I had such a bad headache yesterday and I'm still fighting it today, but I'm hoping that food is going to help. And then I'll get back to work at 8:30 tonight. So we'll see you then. Good morning, everybody. So it is now the next day, another kind of wet hair day, but I ended up doing a little bit more work. I made it to about 60, I don't actually know for sure, 60 to 65,000 before the night was up. And then I just had this pounding headache, especially here in the right side of my face. And I know it was sinus related or allergy related. And so I just needed a break. So instead of pushing myself to the limit this year, I'm going to be more mindful of my mental health, my physical health. So I decided to love myself a little extra and take that break. And I got about 7 hours of sleep and feel so much better this morning. Instead of looking at a computer screen all morning, I was working on my printed copy and I made it about 11 more pages. So that was maybe another 4,000 words, 3,000 or 4,000 words. So now I am down to the last maybe 20,000 words of the book. And some of this is going to be the hard parts of really changing things and making it better. So I am going to really dive in here and get to work today. I think I am going to actually work standing today. This desk that I have in my office here is a standing desk. And so I can move it as I see fit. And this is just reason number 576 that I love Google Docs, because so far throughout just this one video, I have worked on my main PC, my laptop, my phone, and now on my Mac. And I don't have to do any kind of pulling things down from the cloud or updating things manually. It just is. I just open up a Google Doc and it's just all updated and right there for me. And for me, that is a lifesaver, to not have to worry about cross-platform or any kind of mistakes like that. So I am just going to dive right in on my Mac and start working on the final 20,000 words.
Hey, darling, we could get out of town, see the beautiful world around, wanna see it now. Pack our bags and get in that car, leave a little note and we'll drive real far. Let's get out, we can leave this city.
Hello again. So it is 8 p.m., a little after 8 p.m. actually, and I'm just now getting back to work. As you can see, I made myself some tea in my tea diffuser that my good friend Jen got for me for baby shower kind of gift. And I also have some water here. I have still been struggling with my headache today. I wouldn't call it a migraine today, but it was getting really bad. So I had to take a break around 3 and I took a nap for about an hour. And then we went on a pretty long family walk in the cold, which really helped. We got all bundled up. So I'm just going to try not to allow myself to get too stressed out and just try to take it easy, drink a ton of water. I'm eating super healthy. So I'm just sticking with that plan. You can see I also got this really cool new diffuser on Amazon for Christmas. So I've put some peppermint oil in there, essential oil in there, and I'm hoping that's going to help a little bit. I am so close to being done, but I still might be hours away. So let me explain what that means. So basically, I have made it all the way through the novel. And what I'm doing now is I'm going back and I'm adding and tweaking a few final scenes. So there's a scene at a beach house where my characters are kind of training and learning some new abilities. I have to kind of rework that scene based on some things that changed later. So that's one of the main scenes. And then the final battle scene is a mess, and I knew it was going to be a mess. I was anticipating it to be a mess, and I am just going to fix it. And I know what's going to happen, so I'm hoping this won't take me a super long time, but it just needs to be fixed and tweaked. And there's going to be maybe a couple thousand words that are all brand new writing, but I'm excited for it. And then I also am adding on a bonus little epilogue twist because cliffhangers are my jam, and since there will be another book in this series, I have to leave them with one final zinger of a moment. I just went and drew a tarot card as part of my evening ritual, and I was like asking the cards, like, will the book get done tonight? Will it feel really good? And I don't always like ask for like future-based things, but I think I just needed some reassurance, and I pulled the Four of Wands card, which is all about celebration and stepping back and being proud of what you've accomplished. And I just felt like, oh my gosh, there could not have been a better tarot card for me to pull tonight. So I am excited about that. The celebration and the rejoicing is coming. This book is almost done. So I am excited to get started. I'm going to let this tea steep for a while and I'm going to get to work. Okay, well, that took longer than expected. So it is now 10:15 p.m. So I've been working for 2 hours straight, and I basically just finished up what I was calling a tweak to some of the training sessions at the beach house. And yeah, I wrote 3,500 new words, which I was not expecting. So that throws off my evening final timeline stuff. But you know, that's sometimes the thing about edits is like, you know, something didn't fully come together and you kind of estimate that, okay, I'm just going to need this little tweak. And then you get an idea for a whole scene and it just kind of took on a life of its own, but it needed to be there. And that's one of the things I love about the final edits is that when you're immersed in that world and it's most of the puzzle pieces, so to speak, are there, all you have to do is read through and you intuitively will start to feel those little pacing things that need to change, those little dialogues that need to happen, like, oh, they need to have this final conversation here, or this emotional beat needs to happen. And it becomes a very intuitive thing after writing so many books. It's like, but you can't get sometimes to that piece of the puzzle until everything else is in place. And then you see what was missing in that scene. I am feeling so much better, and I'm feeling the momentum of the story coming together. And I really don't know how much more I'm going to add to the book. It could be another 3,000 to 5,000 words, and I'm going to do my best to get it done tonight because I'm down to the wire, of course, as always. But it's really coming together, and I'm really proud of what I've done here so far. So I'm going to keep the momentum going. I'm probably going to shift from my work down here to working upstairs with the headphones and everything. So I'm going to go sit and get more work done while my hubby reads those chapters, and I'll keep you guys updated. Oh my God, you guys. So it is about 3:30 in the morning, and I had not intended to stay up so late, but I am done. I feel so like totally overwhelmed. This has been such a crazy journey, and I cannot believe that it's done. And everybody in my house is asleep, so there's nobody up to celebrate with me, but I did it. And I think it's good. It's a bit of a dark ending, to be honest, but I think it's perfect because it sets up this final book. I ended up writing about 10,000 new words today before it was all said and done. I heard word around midnight from my beta readers that they had read through the new stuff that I wrote earlier tonight. the training sequence in the beach house and stuff. So when they get up tomorrow, they will read through these last few chapters. That is all new stuff, and I'll have my husband read it too. I've already sent it off to my proofreader, so she'll read it too. And then I can format tomorrow and upload it, and it's done. And I feel like I don't even know if I'm going to be able to sleep, because it's like years of working on this book. Tonight, I'm going to maybe go and pour myself a short glass of wine, just sit and enjoy the accomplishment. And I'm not going to get hardly any sleep because I still have to be up at 6:30 with the kids, but I can't sleep just yet. So I do feel like the very last sentence of the book is not quite the exact right thing, but I'll revisit it fresh in the morning, see what my betas think. Maybe it's good and I just am not seeing the picture clearly. So I can't believe it. It's done. I did it.
I've been all around the world, every city, every place. Always been a restless girl, but now there's a wind of change. I've never ever felt this way. Longing for you, pick up the phone, catching a flight, I'm coming home, back to the place I've always known.
Hey guys, so I have just finished formatting and uploading, and I'm an emotional wreck, and it's been such a journey. It has been really and truly one of the hardest, most difficult books I've ever written in my life. I probably should wait to calm down before I start recording, but you guys have seen it all throughout the NaNoWriMo Diaries, so you're familiar with the tears. Writing is such an emotional journey, and it is often a lonely journey where you're just here by yourself and you're just creating entire worlds out of your imagination, and you're praying and hoping that other people are going to resonate with it and they'll love it, and you hope that they'll understand the emotions that you were trying to convey and that they'll feel what you were feeling, and just the release and the relief of knowing that I have finished it. And this is not just like a NaNoWriMo project. This is a series that I started in 2008, 2009. Didn't start actually publishing until 2013. The second book, 2016. I've been working on this particular book. There are scenes in this book that I wrote back in 2009 and 2010. So just the knowledge that it has finally come together and it is good, and I can be really proud of it. And just in a handful of days, actually right now, my arcs have gone out and my readers are already taking a look at it and reading it, and knowing that this part of the journey is over. There's still going to be one more book. I thought it was a trilogy, but now we know one more book at least. But this is only book 3. Imagine how I'm going to feel in May when I finish book 11 of my Shadow Demon saga. For now, I'm going to take a deep breath and just be really proud of what I've accomplished despite how difficult this book was to pull together. Thank you guys so much for being a part of this journey and for allowing me a place where I can come and I can show you that, you can be a best-selling author and sell hundreds of thousands of books and make 6 figures, and it's still going to be about you and that blank page. And there are still going to be struggles. And even if you are stuck on a book, if you don't give up, there is always hope. There is always a chance to come back and make it the very best book that it can be. So don't give up on yourself. I hope that you never feel alone in this, because we are in this together in this community. Thank you for being here for the NaNoWriMo Diaries, and hopefully for years to come. If you would like to pick up the book Fate's Surrender, it is currently for sale on pre-order at most vendors. Amazon, it will go up on Friday. The paperback should go up hopefully later this weekend. Book 1, Death's Awakening, is currently free to download, so I'll leave all those links in the description for you. I did it. Even with the disappointment and the things that were hard about this book, the struggles are just a small part. It's not the whole picture. And I think I'm going to go celebrate with some baby snuggles and some coffee and just hanging out and taking a break, watching some TV and reading a book. Gosh, thank you guys so much for being here. Thank you for celebrating with me. I love you, and I will see you in my next video. Bye.
You as you drive, do you know I'm looking? And I can't help but smile. Do you know how much I love you? You put my favorite song on, I put my feet up, and we just sing along. And I can't help